Well, welcome to the show. We're here today with Shelley Gilmore from the United Way. Welcome, Shelley.
Thank you very much, Ryan. It's great to be here. Finally, see your whole setup here.
Behind the scenes.
I know.
We shoot this at Music City Studios, and Mike Peterson's always helping us out. And he's always behind the scenes, but we should put a shout out to him. So, yeah.
We should. Thanks, Mike.
He's
Behind the glass back there, guy.
So, congratulations on your new position, Executive Director.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been 3 months already.
3 months, and you've already launched a brand new campaign. Tell us about the campaign.
Oh, it's very exciting. We've decided to really go back to our roots, and our roots are our community. So we really wanted to incorporate the way that United Way has always done things, and that is telling stories. But we wanted to take it up a couple notches. So we really wanted the community to own its United Way, because we do so much work in the community that people don't know that we're out there doing.
That's why we're talking about this today.
Yeah,
we're going to find out about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the whole idea of the My Story, My United Way, My Community is very much to try to weave those pieces together. So we all have stories, whether you're a client of an agency that we support, whether you're a member of general community that benefits because we've been able to engage youth and reduce crime, or all of those things, right through to the community itself, and people being able to thump their chest and say, this is my community.
So you launched, you said a lofty goal. You're going to try and raise, well, I'll let you say the number. It's a big number. I can't even say it myself. But
$1.5 million.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Now, first of all, we encourage people to give that money. So how can they, let's start with how they can give.
Well, they can give multiple ways. They can phone our office, or they can check out our website. Our website is unitedwaycso.com.
Okay. And you've done a kickoff breakfast. I'm sure you've got lots of events coming up. What's a big event you've got coming up?
Well, we've got one that's in the hopper right now. It's October the 15th.
Okay.
And it's a bus pull challenge, and we are calling it Pulling for My Community.
Okay, good. So let's say whatever money you raise, United Way is very well known at funding different organizations and agencies. So, and then you've also understand you went through a bit of a reshift of how you look at the agencies you're funding. So who do you fund, and how do you fund them, and how do you pick where the money goes?
Well, in the past, we've had a structure that we had core partners, and we would look at those partners year after year. In 2015, we're actually changing how we do things, and we're leveling the playing field. So agencies that for years haven't been able to get access to United Way funding will have an equal opportunity to all of those we currently fund. Is it going to cause some problems for people that have been used to getting our funding? Possibly. Yeah. But we've worked very, very hard to make sure that those agencies are sustainable over the years. So realistically, it's put your application together, make sure it's relevant to our community, make sure that you do a very good job on your application. Yeah. And we work with the agencies when we get them in. If we see that they could be better, we go back to them and say, here's how you need to work this. Give us more information on this or more details there. And to make sure that their application has every chance of being successful through the various steps. Because we have a fairly arduous process that those applications go through.
I've been hearing about that. Like, there's various committees that will actually go to visit the sites, kind of thing, and go through the applications. So it's not an easy process to go through.
No, it's not. We take the fact that this is donor money, this is public money. We take that very, very seriously, and we want to make sure that any and all investments we do are sound investments. Following, yes, we have a social service mandate, but we have a very strong eye to true business model when it comes to investing the dollars. So the application goes through 3 or 4 different levels of vetting, and then the shortlist is created, and we have what we call impact teams that go out and meet the agencies. And these are people from the community, variety of backgrounds, business backgrounds, social service backgrounds, medical backgrounds, anybody who has a skill set to offer that can truly review these agencies and determine whether that's a good investment or not for the United Way. So then it comes back, it's vetted through another series of reports, and it goes to our investment committee to make the recommendations to the board.
Well, I think that gives validity to raising $1.5 million. When you go, we've got this huge process in place, and we will use your money efficiently and wisely. Just basically help us out, let us raise it. So now there was also, I know for me, I've heard lots of Gen Next. I know they're connected to United Way, and there's different people like Catch. Can you explain to some of the some of the main partners that you've worked with, or even like how does Gen Next relate to United Way?
Well, Gen Next is an organization that is under the umbrella of the United Way. And what the concept behind it is it's that 20 and 30 something crowd that maybe isn't quite ready to be engaged in something as big as the United Way, which can be intimidating. Yeah. And so there's
Wait a second, Shelley's intimidating?
Not me. The 20 or 30 something.
Okay, there we go.
But thank you for adding me into that category. I appreciate that. Good. Flattery will get you everywhere.
Good.
So the concept is that they have their own sort of, they have a board, but it's not an official, like they don't have to report to the Societies Act or anything. They fall under our governance. But they meet, they have their own mandates. They work with the United Way on our 3 core focus areas to make sure that we are making a true impact in our community. So their focus tends to be their time drive, which they get great uptake in the community. It's amazing.
1,300 hours rate.
Yeah, it was well over 1,000 hours last year. And it's an odd concept for a lot of people. They don't quite get what giving time in a time drive really is, but that generation is just, they're grabbing a hold of it in a big way and making a difference, and that's really what they're focusing on. And then of course they've got their big ball that they do in the fall, the LMAS. And that one is just a huge event for them as well. And one of the things that I've worked on in the time that I've been at United Way is trying to figure out if there's another way that Gen Next can be further engaged with what we're doing in the community. There aren't enough of them to spread them out over our entire region, because our region goes all the way from Oyama to the U.S. border out to Princeton. Wow. So we have a lot of communities that we take care of and help build community.
So you talked about 3 pillars. I actually don't know what they are. What are the 3 pillars?
Oh, great question.
I'm like,
sure.
If I don't know, maybe someone else.
Yeah, we have 3 core focus areas, and they are helping kids be all that they can be, turning poverty into possibility, and the third one is building strong communities.
So there was a great, you had a great speaker at the breakfast. A lady that was with us, John
Tammy.
Howard.
Yeah.
Tammy. So her story. So she would be in the turning into
poverty into possibility.
Because she talked about how she's able now to earn that wage and get out there and just the impact. I mean, it was probably the best speech I've heard a whole year.
Oh, it was phenomenal. Yeah, there was almost not a dry eye in the house when she told her story. Yeah.
So, and of course, the whole new wave of social media is all about the stories and stuff. So, how are you sharing those stories? How can people find out what their impact's going to be? I guess you give them money. How getting people excited about donating means they see the difference. So how can people see the difference? Like, give us some examples of a difference made in people's lives.
Well, Tammy is a perfect example on so many levels. If people weren't at the breakfast, she was a woman that just started out life a little bit rougher than everybody else, and spent 10 years behind bars. And had to come out and figure out how to live in this new existence. And that was how she got linked up with John Howard. And John Howard is one of our agency partners at United Way, has been for a long time, and they do amazing work. We've had, so many great stories come out of our agencies, and as a direct result of the funding that we're able to give them. Chris Adaptive Adventures is one that comes to mind, just because they're a bit near and dear to my heart. But they do amazing work with disabled persons and ensuring that their quality of life is not stuck in a wheelchair in a room and maybe every once in a while get wheeled around the park by an aide. They actually build...
It's quite adventurous.
It's crazy, the stuff they do. But we have another speaker that we've used several times. Her name's Mary, and she's gone through many of the programs at Chris. And she just talks about the isolation and the depression that comes from being isolated, and how Chris Adaptive has turned her life around. She's now on a bit of she does public speaking all over the place.
She's connecting the community as you go back.
Absolutely, and that's a big goal. I mean, even with our building strong communities is where a lot of our seniors programs tend to fall into that category. And although some of them do go back into the poverty to possibility, we have a lot of seniors in our communities that are living, below the poverty level as well. But the seniors, in dealing with a lot of their challenges, it is isolation based. When you get to a certain age and your mobility is challenged, and maybe you're not just your physical but your mental capacity isn't all that it used to be, you tend to isolate, and then with the isolation comes depression. And we work very hard with the seniors agencies in our communities, again, our entire region, to engage the seniors in that community to make sure that they get out, that they have programs, that the seniors, we even have some of the organizations that have buses or have volunteers that'll go pick them up at their home and bring them to the events
Excellent.
to
That's
make
great.
sure that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
actually participate.
Yeah, there's something about and I don't know if it's just Canada. My perception. I was born in Scotland. I came over here, but we seem to have much more of a. We have isolated age pockets. I find we have our young professionals that hang out together, and we have our middle-aged families that hang out together, and we have our elderly that hang out together. But it almost feels like we don't connect the generations enough in our community somehow. So I think that I don't know what the solution is there, but it's always on my mind to how do we connect the generations, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so.
Well, we do a lot. If you saw our new PSA that we did with Global TV, it's our new slogan, the My Story, My United Way, My Community. And we really focused on the one section. You'll see there's a couple of senior gentlemen in the shot, and then Victor, the chair of our Gen Next group. And we did that very intentionally because to be the United Way, we are that connection point. We are that umbrella that oversees so many of those contact points between all of the different groups you've just mentioned.
That's perfect. Well, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Folks, hopefully they get a chance to volunteer or donate to part of the big goal.
Yeah, to help with the goal. We're always looking for great volunteers to help with all sorts of things, events, right through to working in the office, helping us with that, and just really trying to build community. That's our goal.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the big goal. Best of luck. And if you guys want to get involved, just go check out their website or give them a call or an email, and I'm sure they'll be happy to connect you with whatever you want to help them out with. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome.